Welcome to Doodle Talk, the show where everything I say is made up and the points don't matter. What's up, all you doodles and doodlers out there, you schemers and dreamers, and welcome back to another episode of Doodle Talk. This is Doodle Talk, episode 22. Take a seat, put on your best pair of relaxing pants, and just relax. And let's enjoy another episode of talking about things and stuff like that. It's been Golden Week here in Japan the past week. It's normally just the first week of May with a bunch of like individual holidays that they kind of smush together, and you either get like essentially 3 to 5 days off if you're really lucky. I think kind of just depends how the holidays line up with the weekdays. And if you don't know Golden Week in Japan, it's the busiest week of the year as far as like holiday and travel and stuff like that goes. I think because like in America, it's probably New Year's and Christmas because those two are together and you're seeing your family and like partying with friends and stuff. But in Japan, it's more, I would definitely say families, everyone's going out on Golden Week because you don't get a lot of time off in Japan. And unfortunately, unless you're like me, where you can sometimes just make your schedule how you want it, just depending on what work you have. If you have a family, if both parents are working, if you have anything like that, you don't really have a choice. And if Golden Week's your only time, you gotta go. And it sucks because it gets so crowded. Even if you're just not doing travel, you're just kind of like going into Tokyo or going into the city, going into a bigger city. If you're riding the train, don't even think about riding the Shinkansen, the bullet train. I mean, you have to, but if you're not like trying to travel or like willing to put up with like the crazy crowds and stuff, I would not do it. So if you're not planning on actually traveling, it's normally not really worth it, is what I'm trying to say. And luckily for me, this year we didn't really plan anything. We did a couple things here and there, but no like actual travel or anything. So it was actually kind of nice. I lined up my own schedule so that I didn't get the full Wednesday through Sunday off. I had to work on Wednesday, but I got Thursday and Friday. Today is Saturday while I'm recording this. And I was doing stuff those Thursday and Friday, but had some fun. Went to the park. I live near a big park, and we went there, and it was really awesome. Had a little bit of a picnic. The weather has been great this year. I was thinking about this. I was talking about this the other day too. I feel like the past couple years, outside of all the COVID stuff, like I don't think the weather has been that great during Golden Week, which is really a shame because normally it is kind of like the perfect. It's kind of hot, not too hot though. Rainy season hasn't come in yet, so you have like a safe little window there. And this year it was just really nice all around. And it's been good. I have 2 more days now, and I have a lot of art stuff planned for that. And one thing I just wanted to mention too for that is, so by the time this comes out a little bit later next week, I should either be done or almost be done with this new video that I'm making. And what it is, I don't know if I fully mentioned it in the previous video, so apologies if I have. But I'm making a short little looped animation of No Face from Studio Ghibli, from Spirited Away, and I have a lot of I'm really excited to finish making it. I have a lot of things kind of going into this video. It's kind of another attempt at a similar video like the Emma, the one that I painted the wooden block, the plaque thing, and I liked the way that video went, how I was doing it, and I think I'm improving a little bit here. I think I'm able to. I really like the kind of, for videos like that where it's like a process where you're just like, here's the idea, let's make it, and here's the finished product. If that's the kind of video that you're gonna make, then I really like when people can do a very like smooth, naturally flowing process, storytelling way of showing it. Because there's videos where it's just like, here's the speed paint time lapse, right? And those are cool too, just put on some piano music or like some chill music and you just show your process of painting or whatever it is. Those are cool. And there are some where it's kind of in the middle of that, where you're like kind of doing like my Pokemon mashup videos where there's like a quick little intro and then it just jump cuts into the time lapse, and those are cool too. But I think especially for YouTube, for slightly longer videos, I really like when somebody can, how it doesn't have to be a crazy idea either. That's why I'm just trying it out with something that I normally would do anyways, just without any kind of process video behind it. And it's going to be me animating this little loop of kind of no face walking across the screen, and there's going to be some kind of fun little stuff, little Easter eggy stuff that like happens in the middle. And the cool thing about this video as well is I'm doing the music for it, and instead of just using music that I've already made or just coming up with something for it, I'm actually just kind of taking the main piano theme. The piece is called One Summer's Day. It's like the most recognizable, probably most famous melody from Spirited Away. The one, it has like the ethereal chords at the start that are like up high, and then it has the melody kicks in. It's like the so you probably know which one I'm talking about if you've seen Spirited Away or if you like Ghibli. If not, go check it out. One Summer's Day. I bet if you listen to it, you'll probably recognize it and be like, oh yeah, I think I've heard this before. Because I've been playing that on piano. I learned that piece a while ago, a few years ago, and I've been playing it again recently, kind of getting the rust off. And I was messing around with the melody and stuff, and had my own version of the song that I was kind of making. And I just had this idea, oh, this would be cool to use this in the No Face video, partly just so I could have Ghibli sounding music that's not going to get copyright, get me like in trouble with copyright, get a copyright strike or something like that. And yeah, it's just a fun challenge, and that way I get to do all of my favorite things, which this is kind of why I wanted to talk about this process. Is I'm starting to see like, okay, if I do it right, I can do this thing where I get to do the drawing and the animation, I get to do like the video editing and storytelling aspect that I like, and then I get to do music as well, which is like, that's combining the like main three things that I love doing and have loved since I was a kid, and like just growing up. First it was drawing, then it was like video editing and stuff like that in high school, and then from around high school on was like a lot of music stuff. So finally figuring out a way to kind of just put all three of my main passions together and seeing how it goes. I don't know. I have high hopes that the video will be fun to watch and hopefully relatable or helpful to other people. So we'll have to see. I'm not quite finished yet, but by the time this comes out and you're watching this, it's either done or about to be done. So please keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that's it for most of the just kind of keeping up with me recently. And today, what I want to talk about is social media and how to use it efficiently and not let it kind of just like ruin you as a person or as an artist. And this is the main point of view for this one in particular is just for people who are using it for mostly art stuff. Because if you're not an artist or a creator, then you may be able to take some of this as a nice kind of suggestion as how to like not let it kind of just like how to not get sucked into relying and using social media too much or just like scrolling endlessly for hours. So it can help you out in that aspect too, but this is mostly just for artists and creators who might be having trouble with that kind of stuff. Because as an artist or a creator, especially if you're someone like me, where it's like most of what you're doing is Instagram and YouTube, and the main bulk of it is kind of trying to get people to go to YouTube, you're using social media. You're consuming it, you're using it as a tool, and it's extremely important to you whether you like it or not. So, I mean, I don't want to say it's impossible to not use it, because there's definitely some dudes out there who are probably just like, I don't know, have a really awesome painting and they have a friend who has a gallery and they're doing it the old school way. But if you're not that person, or if you're not just extremely talented beyond belief, which I'm not, so I have to do things the conventional way, right? Like most people. And it's like, how do we do this? How do we use social media? And how do we let it not seep too much into our brains, and like how to reel back on using it too much, and how to not let it just distract you and kind of take away from time and energy that you should be putting towards either your own personal life your friends, family, stuff like that, or your creative life, getting more stuff done, being more proactive, being more productive, So I've just been thinking about a few things this week. Just wanted to talk about a few of those things. Some of them are things that I notice, bad habits that I have, and some of them are things that I've been doing for a while now that are good habits that have helped me, and I've had time to kind of stop now, look back, and be like, yes, okay, that thing was definitely helping me. This thing was negligible. This thing was so, like, kind of stuff like that. And the first thing I want to talk about is literally like when do you start looking at your phone every day, right? So for me, I have this rule that I placed on myself where it's like, unless it's a weekend or just really, really important for some reason that I have to check my social media in the morning, I can't, if it's like, say I'm working Monday through Friday, no phone in the morning, no social media in the morning. I try not to even just like open my mail and like erase spam emails or whatever, because I'll end up doing that if I'm not like careful. So I'm sure like most people use your phone as an alarm too. So it's like the first thing you even do when you wake up is like you're touching your phone. So you have to resist the urge. And the good thing about this is like no matter how hard it seems, once you have a habit, it gets a lot easier. It's never as hard as you might think. And it's nice because it's like what I started doing is just, I knew it would be hard if I set it for every single day. That's why I was like, I'll give myself weekends and very, very special circumstances, see how that goes, and if I need to, I'll adjust. And it worked pretty good right away. It worked pretty well. I just would wake up in the morning and I would just tell myself, hey, you can't look at Instagram, you can't look at anything, so put your phone away, get up, or hey, can't look at social media, but you can sit here for another 5 minutes before you want to get up if you want to just think about things, right? And I'm not the first person in the world to like suggest this. This is pretty common advice, right? But I think by giving my own experience with trying stuff like this, hopefully it may help you relate to it or encourage you, like motivate you to do this as well. I think, this could be like the single most important thing that's kind of helped me not use social media too much and not get too sucked into everything, is not using it in the morning. It's really important because then, like with the whole weekend thing, like I have the weekend, if I'm looking forward to the weekend and being like, I can sleep in a little bit if I can, and I can just scroll my phone for a little bit. It gives you something kind of like to look forward to in a weird way. Even just saying that sounds like shitty. Like I'm looking forward to scrolling my phone when I wake up tomorrow morning because it's Saturday. But for me, it's the whole like taking it slow, knowing that like, hey, you can look at your phone if you want to. That's totally fine. And it helps because what you're doing is you're through Monday through Friday, you're not looking at your phone in the morning, and you maybe I'm not looking at my phone until like 12 or 1 p.m. when I take a break or eat lunch or go on a run or something like that. And it's just so much better because I know I'm not missing anything. If I need to post things, I will post them normally at night because I have a weird thing because I'm in Japan and I'm trying to figure out, most of the time that I've found the best time to post things is later at night here in Japan, which is like morning, early afternoon in America. So that's not really a huge problem for me. If I have to kind of post something or check it, sometimes I'll allow myself to do that, but it's after I've woken up. It's like after the first 30 minutes to an hour, and it's just like go in, post it, get it done, get out. And that works. It works really well. I think it's helped my mental health. I think it's made me less reliant on it. And honestly, before I started really ramping things back up and kind of doing the whole YouTube thing and really going for it, just with my art stuff, there was about a year where, 6 months to a year, where I wouldn't post anything on Instagram for like a month because I was really busy with work and stuff at the time as well. So that's partly why. But I saw like, wow, I didn't post anything in a month. Like I would go days at a time without really like looking at Instagram, or like maybe 10-15 minutes a day. And it's nice. It's really good. I think it's really good for your mental health. And this is why I wanted to talk about this, because I've noticed it's like since I'm really trying harder now and I'm really going for it, it's just like inevitable. You're gonna end up on the platforms, you're gonna end up on social media posting things and promoting things, and it's a sad truth, but these are the things you can do to kind of mitigate it, right? So the first one that I would really suggest is no AM social media. Don't do it first. Just at the very least, do not make it the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. It's so easy. It's really hard to get out of the habit, but trust me, once you're kind of used to it, you can do it. Trust me, you can do it. And it feels good when you know you're like, okay, I didn't look at my phone. Good. And it's so crazy that we have to be like that as a society now, but hey man, like, you got to be honest with yourself. And that's why I was like, I don't think I could do it every single day. That's why I gave myself the weekends, So give yourself some slack if you need to, but you got to be disciplined and you got to do that. And then the second thing I want to say is, like, don't engage with any kind of like trolling, or this one's kind of, I don't know how to like say this exactly, but it's like, don't get into inflammatory things on social media where it doesn't concern you at all, right? This is why I don't have a Twitter. I have made a Twitter like twice, and I still have it, but I don't use it because for the most part it just seems like, I don't use Facebook either anymore because it's kind of just like, it's with the reason I like Instagram and YouTube, especially why I still use Instagram as like the app on my phone that I really still use, is because you can just post art stuff and you can just look at art stuff and you don't have to get engaged in anything. With Twitter and some of that other stuff, it's more of a discourse. It's more of like just text, words, talking and stuff like that, which can be really great in some instances. But like I'm saying, this is for artists. I'm talking about like people like me, visual, illustration, animation, some music stuff too. Twitter might be awesome for you and it's maybe how you've been successful, and that's great. But I feel like you have a higher chance of getting sucked into, political stuff, drama, clickbaity shit that's just gonna make you get angry. Because it's like, tell me if this has ever happened to you, right? You go online, you see something kind of makes you a little inflammatory thing that kind of makes you like, oh, what? Fuck this person. Like, let me tell them what's up. And you comment or something. And then you see the replies, and even if that person was like on your side, or like you get people backing you up or whatever, like you're gonna have other people who are like, nah, fuck you, dude, like you're so stupid, blah blah. And it's just, you get caught in this thing where it's like, you're never gonna feel good, you're never gonna feel better about the conversation that you had. You're never gonna, unless you just are like a troll and you get off on that and you just want some gotcha points that you just stick in your head and makes you feel good, you get that little dopamine release. I mean, unless that's the kind of person you are, you're never going to feel good at the end of the day about doing that, and you're going to waste so much time getting stuck in these inflammatory arguments and things like that. And even if you take a step back and it's like really not even that inflammatory, but you're still just kind of like arguing with someone, or you're just scrolling and reading comments of an argument going back and forth, or just like people's opinions about stuff where it's like, maybe it's not inflammatory at all, it's just like something that is kind of caught your attention, and you get sucked into like reading all the comments or reading about it and stuff like that. Even that can kind of lead you down a path where at the end of the day, it's not going to be very productive for you. And like, even the least harmful scenario there is really just not very productive, and it's something that you should avoid. And I think this is something I've gotten a lot better at over the years. I've never really been a very drama, controversial person, or like really, I've never been drawn into that kind of stuff. Most of the time I see something like that, I'm like, this is stupid. Like the whole like shit with celebrities and reality TV and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, if you watch it because it's fun to watch, totally fine. I get it. Drink a couple beers and watch like the Real Housewives and laugh at the shit they say. I get it. I really do. But you just got to be careful. Moderation, right? Moderation with all this kind of stuff, because that shit will just drag you down and you're just wasting time. That's the one, like, it's almost worse than just, waking up right away in the morning and scrolling, because you will go down some rabbit holes with that one, and you will just start doing, I don't know. I've seen people get sucked into these things and how much energy and time they waste, and it's like, what's the point, dude? Like, what do you really get out of doing this? The only thing I can think of is if, like, I don't know, you're a politician, or like this is kind of your only outlet of like getting your ideas across, and like the public discourse kind of thing is like in the nature of what you're doing. But then if it's if it's at that point, then what I'm saying doesn't really pertain to you anyways, so it doesn't matter, right? Again, this is all within the vein of an artist, especially, or creator, especially like me, just kind of in my similar type of situation. So you got the no AM phones, no AM social media. Then you have, don't get involved in useless bullshit drama and inflammatory arguments and stuff like that. If you have the need to feel the need to comment, don't, because you will come back a couple hours later and be like, I'm so glad I didn't comment or say anything. And then the third one is, this one's pretty important too. This is one I think is really good for real life and online life, but if you can't do one or the other or both, at least try and do it online. Surround yourself with artists that you really like and you look up to, that are inspiration to you. And what I mean by that, by surround yourself, is like only follow people that are inspirational to you. If you have an Instagram and all you do is follow like weird shitty fuck Jerry accounts and stuff like that, think about, you have the power to choose what kind of content you're going to consume, whether you think you do or you don't. You have the ability to, as crazy as it is, you know, you're always tailoring your algorithm to like give you more things that they think you want to watch. So if you can stay kind of like, you probably can never stay one step ahead, but if you can stay like almost on the same level of what the algorithm is going to be showing you, and kind of be cognizant of what you're consuming, then you can create a sort of environment that's going to be helpful to you, as crazy as it might sound. Because like I said, if you're some inflammatory person, or all you do is follow like, I don't know, if all you do is follow drama, gossip kind of stuff, then all you're going to get is drama and gossip. Or if you follow, you know, friends from 15 years ago who just aren't in a good place and like don't contribute to your life, and but you just have them anyways, or you're just there to watch like shit fall apart, I don't think that's good either. Like if there's someone or something or some account that's like not really, it's what, who is that, Marie Kondo, where she's like, if it doesn't spark joy, then you don't need it, or whatever. Sorry, I'm butchering that. I know that was meme to hell, but like it's true, man. That's so funny. It's super true. Like if it doesn't give you motivation or add productivity to your creative life, then you don't need it. It shouldn't be in your feed. And I have two different Instagrams. One's my just art one, and one is my old one that I've had for like with friends and stuff. And I don't really use the old one at all anymore. I do it for some like personal life stuff. I think it's good to have a personal and like kind of like business art account, kind of keep them separate if you can. And like my art one, like I said, I don't really scroll through my personal one. It's basically become like essentially like a old Facebook for me, where it's like if I talk to some people only on that account, but I'm mainly on my art one. And the reason is because all I follow is like, obviously I have a lot of my like closer friends that I still talk to them through that and stuff like that, but all I follow are artists that really inspire me and really motivate me. And it's awesome. Like it's funny because the reason I wanted to talk about this is over the past year or so, I've heard from some people, some friends, or like people I don't really know, and they've said like, oh yeah, you know, like I get all these videos for XYZ, and like, you know, or it's just all these influencers, and oh, it's such garbage, like the algorithm just gives me garbage shit. And it's funny because I used to kind of think that way, where it was like, you know, you're getting duped, or like you're getting fed what Instagram or what YouTube or what TikTok wants, or what Twitter wants to send you. But it's really funny because it's kind of the opposite. It's like, it's scary how good Google is at some of this stuff, and it's scary how good some of these apps are at this stuff. But what they really have become good at is tailoring things. And this is why TikTok has blown up so crazily too, is because they're tailoring it to what you are telling it you want to see at the end of the day. So if you have what you consider a shitty feed, it's actually more likely than not your fault, and it's because you're following certain accounts, you're clicking, you're engaging on things, and it's like, I totally get it if you're like, look, Sam, I understand that's cool, but like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to just like monitor what I'm literally looking at and engaging with 24/7 so I can have like a somewhat non-shitty feed for me when I get on this social media app? And it's like, look, touche, I get it. And like, I'm not even that much of an expert on this. I just have noticed these things over time, and listening to other people talk about it, it all starts to click together and it makes sense. But in a very general sense too, what you follow and what you engage with is what shows up in your feed. So even if you're not paying too much close attention to it, you can still do really simple, easy things to kind of make sure you're getting mostly content that you would want to see. And this is why I was saying surround yourself with XYZ, right? Surround yourself in the meaning that what you're going to see in your social media apps is going to be stuff, just follow your favorite artists. It's as simple as this, because I don't want to go in the weeds on this. Follow your favorite artists, follow people that inspire you, follow people you don't know who are like at the same level as you, who can give you motivation when you see them, like, damn, that person made a cool video, they're killing it, or like, damn, they just blew up. And like, create an environment where you're not going to get jealous, or if you do, it's just like that kind of real quick, like motivational jealousy. I've talked about that before, using jealousy as a motivator, and just keep yourself in an environment that is positive and productive and is going to help you stay motivated. And then what you do when you don't look at your phone first thing in the morning, you don't look at social media right when you wake up, what you're doing then is so what you did is you created this kind of environment where it's like not too bad, it's not too shitty. You got, stuff that's going to be motivational and inspirational, and you put it to the side. And now you have your own real life to worry about. When you wake up in the morning, you need to do the things you need to do in the morning. And it's something you can go to later or at specific times, right? Maybe you have to check it in the morning. Just make it not right when you wake up. Even if it's you roll out of bed, you get dressed, blah, 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 and then you sit down and because you have to post, or you got to do something, that's fine. But you need to just create these separations so that you're not just consumed all day every day by all this social media stuff. And then once you do that, you've given yourself enough space in your daily life where you're not just consuming media the entire time, and you're doing real life things. You're going out, you're exercising, you're going on a run, you're coming home, you're sitting down and you're drawing on pen and paper because you think you've been drawing digital like way too much. Any of those little things will help. And then when you do indulge and you do allow yourself to look at the media, look at your social media and get on YouTube and stuff like that, you've kind of like earned it in a way, right? Or you know that, hey, if I spend the next 2 hours looking at YouTube here, I've done enough of all the other things I need to do. And the real reason, to close things out here, the real reason that becomes so important is if you don't do that, you don't make enough time for yourself to do the things you really need to do. Because if you're someone who wants to create enough content, enough art to make a living, using mostly stuff through like Instagram or YouTube or Patreon, anything like that, if you're really doing enough work to be at that level where you're going to be self-sufficient using those methods, you don't have time to sit on Instagram or TikTok for 5 hours a day. You really don't. You're not going to. And especially if you're already working a full-time job, and then you want to do it on the side, this is just something that you have to decide and make sure, okay, I'm not going to go look, I'm not going to go doom scrolling, I'm not going to go do any of that shit. I got work to do. And then when you do have the time, when you decide, okay, I have a break or something, or I can look at this for a little bit, what you're going into is not the most toxic environment in the world. It's something you've kind of curated, and it's something that hopefully is just going to give you a little bit of inspiration, something you can learn from by seeing other creators, and give you the motivation that when you close out of that app, when you turn your phone off or whatever, then you sit down to work again, you're going to be better off for it. And that's the main kind of point I wanted to make today. And without going on any further too much on that, those are my main thoughts. A few kind of tips for what I think has helped me in the past year, and what I'm trying to really stay strong with and stick to all those tips. And yes, you screw up, you wake up hungover on a Sunday one day and you're just like, or whatever, you know, you're like, I just want to watch YouTube videos all day, or like, I'm just gonna watch Netflix today. That shit happens. That's fine. Every now and then, you know, everyone needs that kind of day. But if you make a habit of it every day, it's not going to be good. So just remember that. And hopefully these tips helped you. If you have any other like quick little tricks or tips like the no AM social media, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you like to do, because I'm always looking for other stuff like that. I'm interested in how other people struggle with this as well. So if you want to let me know about that, please do. But that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.